Welcome back, Saints Nation. We are back with some CollegiateR6. Not the longest 5-minute break ever. We kind of debated you a little bit, so we hope you're still here with us. And if you're just joining us now, it's going to be St. Clair College versus Grand Canyon University. Took the L 1-7 in game number 1. Grand Canyon really pulled up with an incredible defense to lead things off. And now seeing St. Clair going into game number 2, these bans so far, it's just the Thatcher. See it just about every single time we see this team play. No surprises there so far. See if GCU taking away, that is going to be the Jackal. The really smart ban from GCU. We talked about how Saints really like to play these roamers, and it is going to be Jackal getting taken out very early on in this ban phase. It has to be the Clash now, Deltanders. It just has to. Can't be anything else.
Yeah, we'll see, because GCU can probably throw the Cade or throw the 1-9 back into the swing of things right here. And actually, it's going to get rid of Malusi, so fair enough. Going to get rid of one of those speedier operators. But now, in theory, if Saints want to pull the respect ban and take care of the Clash, they have to do it right here. Otherwise, they're going to have to deal with it yet again.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I couldn't remember. I actually missed it was banning third. I thought the Saints put the Clash through, but we've got one more shot at it. 1 second left to see, and it is going to be the Clash ban. Let's go. All right, Caster's curse is broken. The call out from a mile away. I'm not a Clash main, I swear, says Man. Yeah, okay, big guy. You did incredible on it game number 1, though. Doesn't really matter. It's got to get banned away. So Saints recognizing their weaknesses. And, as a coach, got to give respect to a team that's able to just say, hey, we're not good at this. We're not good at this thing. We need to find a way out. And they found a way out. No more Clash, at least for this game. And should change the dynamic quite a bit. Obviously, the Saints going to start off on defense here. But once we get into that second half, seeing that Clash gone away, maybe the attack might look a little bit cleaner from St. Clair, as both these 6 picks are going to get used here, flipping into the Legion and the Habana, respectively.
Yeah, of course, this time by now we get to see the Saints just start things off on defense where they looked a little bit more comfortable, at least with the short couple of rounds that we did see, but we actually have ourselves a bit of a cheeky play starting off, no pun intended, because it is actually Cheeks picking it up here, but it's going to be the Monty coming out from Cheeks. So Saints were having fun with Riot Shields on the defensive side of things, while the offensive side of things have way more shields to play with, and Monty is probably the most oppressive of all of them. Basically full body shield available when he does finally activate his ability. Basically an impenetrable wall, and it's very strong at trying to get through this doorway here and go up the catwalk into the bomb site itself. And of course, just have somebody trail along with you or a little bit of cover fire from the balcony, and it's just an absolute terror for St. Clair to try and deal with.
Yeah, one thing I always find super interesting whenever we see games here on this map is that Maverick always gets let through because neither team wants to lose it. No, every team wants to have that Maverick for attacking that second floor, getting up and burning through those walls. And you can already see Men getting to work, burning up these walls, trying to get some vision for his team. Didn't look like he had anyone covering him, though, so could be an opportunity for Saints to go for some counterfire. And you can see Cash on the side trying to break through, but however, there is going to be a Saints member right behind the wall there. I don't believe they spotted each other. If that flank actually ends up coming out, they're just going to hide out in the corner there. I don't know who that is exactly, but they're just chilling, just waiting. This Clash makes a ton of noise on the other side of the wall. Now the Saints going to do a little bit of damage. They are going to scope out Cheeks a little bit here, but that shield coming down for the 1 versus 1 charge. Going to win out the battle against Cheeks. So that Riot shield getting taken out very early in the round. Clips, however, did find Big Papa. So it is a 4-for-4. The Charge is doing an incredible job taking out that shield so early.
I mean, I'm not sure if the Saints seen it or had it the feeling coming, because they did 6-pick over Big Papa to the Legion, which is basically Monty's worst fear, because you can sit there with that shield all you want, but you're just going to take constant damage over time with those needles in you. That being said, it's starting to get bloody here with the last minute and a half here. Really starting to get interesting. Bonk, bonk, and impact. Last hopes for Saints.
Yeah, 2 versus 3. It's still very doable for the Saints to have that positional advantage being on defensive side. However, Colo does have the bomb in hand, but it is going to be Men finding a double kill. It's a 3 versus 1 now. He's going to drop incredibly low impact, not able to clean up that kill. They still have that third man for that offense, and Cholo is going to look for the plants. If they can get this down, this is going to be absolutely huge for Grand Canyon. Take things slowly. That is going to be the defuse getting set up as Impact goes for the Nitro Cell underneath the ground, but it's not going to connect. He's going to get taken out in the back by Klimps. GCU is going to walk away with a round-winning game number 2.
Honestly, valiant effort there from St. Clair and for Impact as well. Hopping on to the bottom, but he was just a little bit too slow to stop the defuse itself. But that being said, even if he was able to stop that defuse, it looks like the other player on the side of GCU had a rough idea of where he was going, took him down nice and quick anyway. But again, just an overall solid start here for GCU, going to force Saints to try something different. Instead of trying to do CCTV again, we're going to take it to the basement, see how they can go from there.
Going to be the Cade getting picked up for Big Papa. We talked about this being potentially a pick that they might let through, but it is going to be the Cade getting locked in now for the side of St. Clair. Really strong defensive utility. You were explaining to me a little bit, but all the value that this character provides, that constant, I believe, electrical damage. You mentioned to be quite frustrating on these maps. Can you explain a little bit about the value of the Cade pick here, rather?
Sure, I'll try and show it the best I can here, actually, right here. Because basically, the difference here with Cade compared to a Bandit is where these reinforced hatches are. You kind of see one right here above the B site. There's another one that's probably going to be reinforced right around here. Instead of that just being a sitting duck that you can use soft breach on, you'd have to use a hard breach if you end up reinforcing it. Then you throw the Cade Claw on top of it, electrifies it. So Silos, Hibana would not be able to use X-Kairo's pellets to breach through it, and it just makes it a little bit more irritating. It would force Mend there on the Maverick to try and dance around the electricity with the blowtorch and try to fry it open, but that takes so much more time compared to just launching some X-Kairo's pellets and calling it a day.
Right, and the amount of time that you take obviously leaves you more vulnerable to those roamers and flankers that St. Clair would like to attack so far. However, it's going to be a slightly different approach here from Mend. He goes around and tries to get a different attacking angle here to this point. It's going to come from the underground, it looks like. He's slowly going to scope things out and get his way through. He carves himself a nice little doorway here, and you go. One more blowtorch should do it, and that's going to knock that door open, but in fact, he's just going to end up regrouping with his team as Big Papa on the Cade, the first to drop in this round. That's going to be absolutely massive. Grand Canyon is able to break their way through now 5 versus 4 here, round number 2.
And now, of course, we see Cheeks picking up the Monty once again, but this time, instead of course, having to go up a catwalk, you can still do pretty much the exact same thing here in the dirt. This is a very narrow corridor that this full body shield of Monty can just completely cover. Just clear out a little bit. Mend actually with a huge grenade to just take care of zombie dude just like raw like that. So damn, this is just not going good for the Saints to start things off once again. The cavalry is about to return. You'll probably see some of the members of Grand Canyon look to drop in just a second. Speaking of players dropping, however, Chars gets taken down. Diffuser is being planted as well. CeeLo in position. Saints have a hard one on their hands.
Yeah, this looks absolutely massive for Grand Canyon. The Saints are able to find a counter cover that is going to be the refrag coming up from Cash. Bunk goes down, now Impact against the world, and he's going to be the next to fall. Grand Canyon University showing up huge this offensive, taking a 2-round lead now over St. Clair. And, you know, we talked about it being a clash diff, but it's starting to look like a team diff a little bit. This team is really just outskilling and outmatching St. Clair, and these riot shields, they're very frustrating. You can already see that Monty immediately locked in by Cheeks again. Like, these guys, they found out what makes St. Clair angry, and they're just going to lock it in as often as they can. And, I mean, all power to you if it's working.
Absolutely. Just unfortunately here for St. Clair, Monty is very good at both of the main defending places. Because, of course, send him through dirt on the basement church, and he's basically impenetrable. Same thing with the catwalk on CCTV. A little bit more vulnerable, but at the same time, take the catwalk in a relatively narrow area unless you can get them from below. And it's still so difficult. If anything, I feel like Saints just need to have some sort of answer for it. And in theory, that answer is Legion. But does that completely throw off their the rest of their strategy for their defense? And I guess actually Big Papa trying out a different way of trying to deal with it as well with the Ella. Of course, the Gersbont mines, it's basically a concussion mine. You walk into that as a Monty, you do get stunned, and I believe your shield gets put aside, leaving you kind of wide open for at least a couple of seconds. So another way to try and deal with it. Saints are trying to adjust, but I'm hoping that this time will be the charm, because they need something to go their way in regards to momentum. Otherwise, we could see something very similar to what we saw in game number 1.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really difficult to talk about the difficulties in execution from the Saints. One, because I have a very difficult time understanding what the hell's happening as I'm doing my best that I can. But two, it also just looks like in general, Grand Canyon is doing an incredible job of just kind of making hard reads on the Saints. Like you can see the way that they dramatically shift their attacking approaches between rounds and are able to make reads on the Saints' movements kind of before they do. I guess one of the biggest downfalls, the observer's curse, you could call it, is that we have so much more intel than the players. So a play that looks super obvious for us, obviously not being that obvious for the players, can't see through walls, unfortunately. Not a tech that they have available to them. So the Saints, going to do the best they can to get as much intel as possible just by using their bodies and cameras. But it's tricky right now. It's really tricky. Grand Canyon is doing an incredible job of holding this attack and really putting the pressure down on the Saints.
I mean, Char's here on the pulse is probably the closest thing the Saints have to seeing through the walls there with that heartbeat sensor. But of course, that requires him to actually have players somewhat nearby him, and then being able to relay that information over to his teammates, because they're not going to see the same pings that he does. Now, try and see if we can actually see these heartbeat sensor at work. Sure enough, we are going to see it here. Those little pings. He's going to be calling this out constantly to his team, if not trying to make a nitrocell kill for himself. See pinging it out, maybe be able to find himself shot, especially if this does happen to be Cheeks above him. If you can just kill him via the nitrocell, that'd be huge. That being said, though, it looks like it was actually Klimps as Zombie Dude takes him down.
Beautiful pick to lead things off for the Saints, that 5 versus 4 man advantage. They've got, looks like they have eyes on Cheeks. You can see 3 members kind of slowly hanging around below him, but it is going to be Cheeks actually finding the pick onto Bonk Bonk, winging out in the 1v1 is Big Papa. Nervous to make that round around the corner. Has eyes on Cheeks. Is he going to go for this 1v1? Cheeks slowly moving through. Impact is able to find the pick onto Cash, but Colo. Mend as well, able to find 2 picks now, so that's Impact and Zombie Dude going down. It's just going to be Chars and Big Papa left. Chars with the heartbeat sensor, still is going to do his best to provide that intel to Big Papa. Big Papa tries to take that 1v1, but he's not going to be able to do it into the Riot Shield. Going to have to find a new way in, but Colo's going to take advantage of the space and go for that plant that's nearly going to go down here. That is going to be the defuse getting dropped by St. Clair, and Big Papa losing the 1v1 against Mend on the Maverick. Actually, not the 1v1, the flank kill. Maverick, rather. He was going in for the 1v1 on Cheeks, just wasn't able to find that damage. Now Chars gets scoped out immediately on his way to the point. A huge round from Colo, finding the defuse and the final pick to round it out. And Grand Canyon University taking that win very convincingly.
Gosh, every point of attack covered, and oftentimes multiple angles just covered by a shield once again here. I know we've been beating this point to death, but it just seems like it's a play that the Saints are just not used to in the slightest. And by Mend in game 1, being able to mess with them on the defensive side of things, that was huge. And now it's Cheeks' turn to mess with the Saints as GCU 3-0 is absolutely on a roll, and they're doing this good on the attacking side of things. That's extremely scary if you're here for the St. Clair squad, because right now it just seems like this Grand Canyon University squad is just on another level.
You say it's scary, but you got to remember that Riot Shield's already been banned away on defense. So the Saints' biggest weakness has been eliminated from the game. There is going to be an opportunity for a comeback in that defense once at the halftime. I can already feel it for the Saints, but getting to there, figuring out how to play against this Riot Shield. I'd almost like to see the Saints just ignore Chiefs. If you see them, just walk the other way. And don't try to set up a flank for yourself, because you know that that's how GCU's been doing every time. They've been doing this very systematically. The Riot Shield holds a point. As soon as he scopes out an individual, he follows them around, chases them around, and then all the meanwhile is calling out intel, like you said, right? While that shield's out, communicating that intel, and the flank comes out and boom, it's a 2v1. And, at some point you just got to pick up on that and say, okay, well, let's ignore the Riot Shield. Where's this flanker at? See if I can find this flanker instead.
Now, going into this next attack, we do see Saints trying a different strategy in regards to trying to deal with Cheeks on this Monty. Instead of Actually, they're just doubling down, and to be honest, I don't mind it. You have to deal with both Big Papa sitting there with the Legion and the Goo Mines, but you also have to deal with Bonk Bonk here on the Goyo, of course, with those shields that you shoot and can basically just set the floor ablaze. And that's exactly the last thing that Amati would want, because he is not a fast individual, to say the least. You can see, definitely going to take their time. They don't want to hit one of those mines, but going to wait until his partners up on the balcony are ready as well, and they're all going to probably move together.
Gonna take things nice and slow. It's been working out so far, but as you can already see, those Goyo flames getting dropped. Chars, however, is the first to drop, and the Grand Canyon University do have eyes on that second member of St. Clair. Big Papa is going to fall. Now in the 5 versus 3, you can see Cheeks pulling out those poison darts from his feet, trying to avoid that overtime damage. As you mentioned, a huge disability for that tankier operator, the 1v1. Now Bonk Bonk does have vision on Cheeks, but it's not going to be enough to do any damage. Obviously, that shield up, you can't really fight through that. They're just going to have to wait so they can find themselves a better opportunity here. Grand Canyon starts to make their move. I don't believe they've spotted out the bomb yet, but they're getting very close. With over a minute and 20 seconds remaining, there should be an opportunity for an attack here.
Yeah, we're going to see these pellets come on through. This is just going to be the extra entryway that Cheeks would need to actually get through there, because you can assume that that doorway is probably just littered with goo mines, right? So why not make your own doorway and just avoid everything and move on to the site basically for free? So we do see Cheeks diffuser on its way. It's going to be up to Impact and Zombie Dude to try and make the play.
The 2 versus 3, however, Impact is able to find the pickup onto Cheeks, who actually didn't manage to finish the plant. That's absolutely huge for St. Clair. But it does get picked back up by Colo, as Impact has to get himself out of dodge. They're going to go for the replant now. Impact trying to make himself closer to point. They get the double flank there, but Zombie Dude is going to get dropped, and now Impact in the 1 versus 2. Ooh. 30 seconds remaining, the triple kill from Impact. Can he clutch this up? It's the 1 versus 1. Mend on the Maverick. He's going to try to get the plant. Impact going to be able to find him out here before that goes down. Doesn't have vision quite just yet. Maverick is going to be able to round that out, but Impact is going to be able to find him, get the kill, and close out the round. That's a quadra kill for Impact. And St. Clair finally going to be able to get themselves on the board here in round number 4. Incredible performance from Impact. Single-handedly winning that round for St. Clair.
Holy moly, that's a kind of momentum shaker that the Saints definitely needed. Getting themselves on the board on the defensive side of things. Impact, of course, with the quadra kill. You love to see it. And then he is basically taking the position of what Zombie Dude was in game number 1. Zombie Dude, of course, was an absolute fiend in regards to eliminations, but unfortunately it just didn't necessarily translate into round victories. But this time, Impact, especially after that quadra, really trying to rile the team up. And the fact that they've got this round much sooner than last time, because remember, I think it was around 6 last time, where they finally got their first win. To get it much sooner means they can try, that they can take this momentum they have on defense and get a couple more rounds out of it, knowing that, yes, this attack is absolutely beatable. We can do this. We just got to translate this now towards the basement for this next time.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I was looking at that attack from Grand Canyon and kind of scratching my head a little bit, seeing Monty be the one to go for the plant. As soon as he went for that, obviously that ride shield not available to provide any coverage, and he got picked off before the defuse went down, and that was really the pivotal moment in that round. Impact recognizing that as soon as that shield was down, able to win out on those gunfights and took advantage of that huge window. And it's just being able to recognize situations like that and do an incredible job executing on that too. 1 versus 4 is not easy, but Impact really came through for the Saints, and that's going to be a huge clutch moment. Get things going now as we get into round number 5.
Yeah, to my video editors in regards to best plays of the week, that one from Impact is definitely going to be shown without question. I hope somebody clips that, because that was definitely an awesome moment. But you can see, once again, how Saints can manage to hold this basement defense. Of course, a little bit of electrification, little bit of anti-utility between the Jaeger and the Wamai. So we'll have to see what GCU's plan is this time by.
I gotta say, I love how you're using your opportunity on the caster's desk to drop little notes and tips for your employees. I think that's a beautiful way of taking advantage of the opportunities that we got here. But, it is what it is. We contribute to that content, and it's good stuff that people love to see. You gotta get those Twitter clips, and that's really what Impact's playing for. At the end of the day, doesn't matter if you win or lose, as long as you got the clip, you carry it with you. Now the Saints, hopefully, we would like to see them get another win. Always telling me to stay neutral on these casts, but I want to see my boys pop off, and we've seen it once. Let's see it again. St. Clair on defense still. 2 more rounds until the halftime switch. Can get themselves 1 more round victory under their belt.
Good little play there, actually, from the side of GCU, using the frag grenade and the splash damage, of course, that it has to actually kill off the Cade Electric Claw. That way, the electrification was all gone, so that just meant that CeeLo here on the Hibana could just use the pellets and blow it up, have that hole now available for transportation if necessary. Shots fired on the stairwell. Bonk Bonk gonna get the worst end of that one, but still hangs on by a thread. Never mind, he finds Klim, so there we go. Good start there for Saints.
A good fake out by Bonk Bonk, getting clipped a little bit, like you mentioned, but taking the turnaround, just going for that pickup onto Klims, and that's going to be GCU's top fragger going down very early in this round. They still have the defuse. That's going to be Colo holding on to that as they try to slowly make their way through this basement underground, but so much gas in the way, it's very, very difficult for this Monty to actually approach, and the Saints have full vision on this.
Oh, nice shot.
Zombie Dude, I believe, trying to go for that 1v1, but he's going to actually find the double kill. Zombie Dude barely walking away. Just a little bit of life remaining. St. Clair is still 3 versus 2. Gonna make it a 3 versus 1 now with Cash single-handedly trying to make the attack, but St. Clair finds themselves the back-to-back defense. And Zombie Dude, my gosh, we didn't really get to see too much of what else happened in that round, but Zombie Dude popping off in the 1 versus 2 against right through the Riot Shield. Incredible performance from him. I don't even know how he pulled that off, if I'm being honest. I'm looking at that, I'm like, man, that looked impossible.
That was definitely a solid run, but it was also, with Cheeks, maybe a little bit slow to the punch. Because, of course, that's always one of the ways you do try to deal with the Monty who has a player behind them, is you look for when the player that's behind the Monty to peek out to take a shot, you take them down, and then as the Monty, when you realize they're shooting at your buddy, that's when you pull the shield down and you whip the pistol out and you take them out. That being said, though, was a little bit slow to the punch. Zombie Dude was able to flick it right on over, find himself the double, cleaning out any sort of threats from the dirt section, and just made it extremely easy for the Saints to focus in on the next couple areas. And then that last little push there, GCU tried to make something happen, but of course, there's only so much you can do when faced up against a Nitro cell, especially if you can't shoot it out of the air. So, solid job there for Saints, and bringing this one nice and close. No longer are we seeing GCU run away with this.
Yeah, those headshot Okos, of course, are absolutely massive. You can find that early pick. Doesn't matter if the Riot Shield's there, if you've already made the pick that early. So Zombie Dude playing that 1 versus 2 exceptionally well. Love to see the rest of the Saints, find their opportunities like that. It's definitely those cheeky little defensive movements that are going to get you on the scoreboard here. This is the last round before the halftime switch. Got a very narrow scoreboard now, 2 versus 3. Mend back on the Maverick again. We've seen him on it all game, and I'd like to see him, on this offense. He keeps switching it up, and so far they haven't been able to make too much use out of this pick. At least nothing particularly impressive these rounds.
I mean, for playing the supportive role once again, Mend is finding himself a good handful of eliminations here, tied for the top fragger on his squad with 6. So, to be honest, Mend just seems like the all-around mini superstar here on this GCU squad, but at the same time, this entire GCU squad is just absolutely on another level, at least off of game number 1 itself. So I don't want to give Mend an ego boost individually. Let's share the love a little bit here across this GCU squad, as we do see Mend making his way over. Knows one player is right there. We're going to see. I think that's a frag grenade. Sure enough, a little bit too slow. Not going to happen. And here comes the battle.
That she is going to be able to find the pickup onto Impact, but Zombie Dude does get the refrag, so it's down to 4v4. And Zombie Dude trying to find himself another. He is going to get taken out, however, by Mend as Bonk Bonk finds the pick on the Clips. Big Papa going to find the refrag there. Cash taking out Chars. It's a bloodbath already in this round. Now 2 versus 2. No plant yet. And Cash is going to find the pick onto Bonk Bonk. Big Papa with the refrag onto Cash and Colo. My God, that round was explosive. Let's get away from that. We don't need to see that wide and clear on screen. There's so much good we could talk about in this round, but very well, excellently played. from both teams, really. That was just crazy. All the one-to-ones back and forth. It kind of looked like they were all just a little bit split. And then as soon as the first body dropped, everybody was just flicking like crazy trying to find those kills. That's really hard to keep track of.
That's really too bad there for St. Clair. As soon as it got into that 1v1 situation, as the lone person on defense, just run away. Don't try to find yourself a fight. Don't hunt. They have to plant the diffuser. Stay close enough that you can hear the sound cue, but just don't be the one doing the peeking. Unfortunately, there for St. Clair, went hunting, and they were the ones with the disadvantage moving into the room and whatnot, and they just got absolutely blasted. I mean, with the way that round was going, everybody was seeing red, to be fair. It was frag after frag, over and over and over again, one after one another, one for ones all over the place. So I definitely understand seeing red and wanting to go for it, but unfortunately it just was not quite optimal, and it's going to slow things down here for the Saints. Win streak taken down a notch for this time by 4-2 GCU as they now start their turn on defense.
You know, that's kind of why I said it the way I said it, because I just feel like, you know, you just get caught up in the action. There's just so much happening, and all the rest of your teammates are just dropping like flies. Everybody is going down, and you don't really want to be the one to just call it off right when it's getting heated. Unfortunately, losing out on that 1v1 does mean that St. Clair is going to lose that final round on defense. It's going to go into this halftime 2-4. They're just going to give them a little bit more leeway. Obviously, no riot shield available on the side of Grand Canyon University. Seems to be their biggest strength so far, so St. Clair are going to be able to work themselves around that. No Maverick, though, on the side of St. Clair.
Yeah, opting against it, however, going to maybe pick this Hibon up to try and make that play instead. We do see some shots through the wall here from Impact. Was able to spot Cash out and drawn him out, but actually in the meantime, we did see the one elimination here from Bonk Bonk. So, solid start to get this attack underway. Of course, Clubhouse, again, one of the maps that Saints just extremely comfortable with. Been playing it this entire season, basically every single match, so not an area they're unfamiliar with. Spots out one at his Cash once again. Cash just needs to run. This spot is not working.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing that flanker and you're trying absolutely everything that you can to find those early picks, but you've already been red. You know, Saints already know what's happening, and you're just over-forcing on that play. To have a little bit more patience to just back right off there. St. Clair slowly making their way through here. They have the sledge. Bonk Bonk going to try to get himself in a little bit closer. Look for an opportunity to break onto that bomb site. St. Clair slowly approaching the point here.
Okay, I see. Bonk Bonk's over there on the drone trying to call out some impact shots from, well, impact on that Zofia. Try and maybe do a little bit of sharking from below on this side of GCU. We're going to see Impact and Bonk Bonk both here looking for an opportunity. So, of course, those holes in very common positions to sit in. Now, with a minute left, we'll have to see if the Saints make a move. We do see the Impact taking a ton of damage, however, hanging on by a thread. So, A-OK there, and Cash is finally getting taken down. What happened there? I have no idea.
Looks like Mend is going to be able to mend him up.
Appropriate.
Yeah, that was good, right? I love when Rainbow Six gives us opportunities to say stupid stuff like that. It's perfect. It's what we do this for.
I can appreciate dad jokes now.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. I'm doing it for you, Janners. No one else.
Wait, thank you.
We do have Cash back up, ready to go. Clem's gonna lead this fight off strong. That's a one-man down on Zombie Dude, and Tarth is taken out as well by Cheeks. So St. Clair in the 3 versus 4. The defuse does get picked up by Impact. He's going to find the refrag onto Cheeks, and now the 3 versus 3 for St. Clair. Cash still very low from that initial fight. Looks like Impact does have sights on that individual up in the top. Big Papa going to find the pickup onto Klimps there. And it's going to be Impact getting taken out through the wall by Cash. As Big Papa makes his way around the corner, Bonk Bonk rather, finds himself a double kill. It's the 1 versus 1 against Men. Bonk Bonk does have the defuse in hand. Big Papa still alive. That is going to be Toxic Gas getting committed, though, however. St. Clair very scared to approach this point. They know he's over around the wall, but they're going to find the shot through the wall. Bonk Bonk rounding it out on round 7.
That's exactly what he needed to do there. Needed to actually hunt that one down. Now that you're on the attacking side, you cannot wait. And if you just went for the plant, he would have just smoked you out. I think he had still one more in the chamber, or that may have been the last one, but either or, planting would have been extremely difficult. As soon as you do it, he would have just probably taken you down anyway. So beautifully done there from St. Clair, bringing this back within 1. The attack has some life in it compared to last game.
Still plenty of opportunities for St. Clair to win this one. There could be the comeback that they need. You know, we always love to see these long, drawn-out Rainbow Six games, but there's more action for us to watch. Love to see that, of course. Now, St. Clair, keeping to a pretty similar strategy, however, on the side of Grand Canyon University, it's going to be Mozzie and Doc getting picked up. They were talking to me a little bit about Mozzie beforehand, but what's Doc doing here? What's he up to?
Okay, so he's the only one who can actually heal here in this game. Has those healing darts that can take somebody from a knocked down state and put them back to like a quarter of their life. But you think healer, you think defensive, supportive, right? But that's actually not what you're probably going to see here from Cheeks. We're probably going to see a bit of a spawn peek play here. Of course, Doc is one of the safest operators to be able to do a spawn peek. So, like, within the first couple seconds of this round going down, you'll probably see him parked near a window, parked near a doorway or something, ready to just try and find somebody right off the spawn. Like, you don't even get to play the game. Just try to get a nice, quick kill. And even if he does end up going down to anything that's not a headshot, he can stim himself up with his heal, break him back up, and just like, okay, that play didn't work. That's okay. Let's just go back and heal. I'm curious how this is going to be played. Majority of the time it's offensively, but it could very well still be a rather defensive play, as we do see him basically prone here on the catwalk. But at any point, very well could make the move. More than likely, as soon as I move off him in regards to the camera.
Yeah, as soon as you start talking, as soon as you stop talking about it, that's right. Bonk Bonk is going to lead, however, in this fight, taking quite a bit of damage from Clemson, able to get a little bit in return. Start things off nice and slowly. I do think the Cheeks, the Doc pick really fits this style that Grand Canyon likes. They like these utility picks where they really just play for, you know, these long, drawn-out battles and force your opponent to make the aggressive move. And, you know, nothing better than a healer to really solidify that style, even if it's not necessarily ideal or the most optimal approach. Char's can see him getting quite close to Cash there on the side as Big Papa hiding out, trying to get a little bit of vision, maybe scope things out for Char's as he makes his way through this doorway. Cash just hanging out below. They are going to be able to breach through this man-made doorway here. Impact on the Maverick this time around was able to actually burn this through. As Impact going to take quite a bit of damage here. I believe that was from Cheeks. Does get shot out a little bit.
Yeah, Cheeks spots is
the first pick for Cash.
It calls it out, but yeah, for sure. Cash finding a double right now. This is looking beautiful right now for GCU.
Great lead for GCU. That Vigil finding that double kill. You know, we saw that Vigil in that first round on defense. It didn't do too much, but this time it's really popping off. And Klim's able to get a third pickup onto Impact. So it's going to be a 2 versus 5 situation now for St. Clair. Believe they have eyes on Big Papa. Char's is able to find a pick on the Colo, and that's going to be Big Papa winning out the 1v1 versus Klims. He does get tagged down, however, he's quite low now. Char's does still have the defuse in hand, but we can already see those toxic gases starting to get deployed as Char's doing whatever he can to make a little bit of room for Big Papa to break through. 52 seconds left, and I believe there is still one smoke canister remaining. There's going to be a triple kill now for Cash, and the defenders going to come out on the top here. GCU winning this one quite dominantly, going into round number 9, I believe. Now up 5-3.
Okay, that one was a bit weird because that was one of the few times that we actually seen Grand Canyon University lose their patience and try to go hunting. And they almost kind of flipped that one back on their head. Saints nearly brought him back. It was like a 2v3 near the very end of it. But nonetheless, though, Cash finding himself so much more value here on this Vigil this time by, I think, 3 solid shotgun blasts across the Saints squad. And then Cheeks was in a solid position. It was not necessarily an offensive-based Doc this time. However, just being in a perfect position to basically just monitor multiple places at once. So, still very valuable. We're going to see some 6 picks, a little bit of an older school style that we're going to see coming out here from St. Clair in regards to this Capitao pick. Because before, what you'd probably see a lot, let's see if I can, first off, click on the right screen. I baited myself a little bit, but let's see if we can find the garage door that I'm thinking about, where you would normally stick the Hibana. It would be right here. So the Hibana and the Capitao would normally come around and blow through this door. And then they would, with the firebolt that Capitao has, that can basically just litter the floor, it would go up into the high ground and give themselves a bit of an opening to work with. That being said, though, Normally you see that for CCTV plays. That is not the case. We're in the basement, so I'm curious as to see what they're going to bring here this time by.
I love seeing these off-meta picks. It's a good opportunity for me to get more familiar with the operator roster, but it's also just really fun, you know, when you see characters that you don't often see. Kind of get tired of seeing the same 10 ops getting picked every single game, and now we get to see some Capital action. I always love those unique weapons, those crossbows, those blast bolts. That's such a unique way of playing the game. I'm really excited to see what Charters can actually do with this pick. That's going to be Bonk Bonk finding the first pick onto Clem's, taking him down very, very early in the round, only 30 seconds in. St. Clair has a man advantage. They got eyes on a second. He's going to shoot for the floor, but he's not going to be able to find that kill. It's going to be Cash taking quite a little bit of heat there in that 1v1.
I'm going to go back into his gadget form, try and find a closet or something to hide in for just a second, try to get the trail off him, so to speak, and then just allow him to keep on roaming through. Bonk Bonk, of course, has the bird's eye view here from above, but the big problem is that they have no entryway into the site, and a lot of times what I do see here from the Saints is they eventually get one of those hatches open and just everybody piles on through, and similarly to what we've seen in Game 1 where I just called it the Lemmings, they just kind of jump on in and all just get mowed down because the opposing squad would be in position, as we do see Cash actually catching Bonk Bonk out of position, so going to even this up 4-4.
Yeah, now Impact up on top, gonna do Maverick things, try to get himself a nice little pathway from the sky down. You know, you talk about these top-down approaches that the Saints really like to favor, and so far, not working out too well. As Impact gets a little bit too close and is gonna get taken out by Cash. That shotgun blast gonna knock him down almost immediately. St. Clair in the 3 versus 4 here. They're trying to get reestablished, only a minute remaining in the round.
Honestly, massive props to Cash for sticking to this Vigil pick, even though it did not work very well the first time he pulled it out. To know, like, to stick to your guns and pick the operator again, and this is going to be the second round in a row where it's actually finding some very, very solid value. Going to find himself another one, too. Just absolutely crushing it here. You think to yourself, why the heck is there an ACOG on a shotgun? But hey, that's just Siege for you. This shotgun, it might as well be a sniper.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was pretty far out for the headshot, but he really made his way, made it work for him. He's, so far, all 3 kills in this round. You can take a look at that kill chart. Cash, 15 eliminations for him.
Gosh,
compared to the rest of his team, it's just really insane to think about. I said Claire finally gonna make it down to the point, but Zombie is gonna get dropped immediately. And as you said, the lemons start falling. Ours in the 1 versus 4, he's gonna get spotted out. He's gonna do a little bit of damage here on the cheese. He's not gonna be able to plant. He fakes the defuse. He's gonna lose out on the second fight as Men cleans that up, and that's gonna be Grand Canyon University winning yet another round here. I believe this puts them to match point.
I do believe that'd be the case, and honestly, solid attempt there from the Saints side of things, considering that was the 2-on-4. Being able to at least try to even up a little bit and nearly found the second elimination.
Yeah.
They probably would have got swamped at that one point, though, because he had one player from above, one player from the side. I don't care how good you are, that is just too difficult to try to deal with sometimes. Or not sometimes, but most of the times. So, as we go to the gym for our third, or not our third, but for our next point, and for possibly the match and set point here against St. Clair. I mean, St. Clair is looking better in this game, but still has a long way to go if they want to keep themselves in this series.
Looks like Zombie is actually going to 6th pick away the Habana. I can't imagine what he would choose, and it looks like he does end up deciding to stick with it. That's kind of funny. 6th pick your own character. But,
yeah. That's the old, you know what, never mind, let's stick to this and let's go.
Yeah. It was doubling back on that quick. And I think it really speaks to that point you made earlier about how, you know, it's not, you can't blame the operators really at the end of the day for how things play out, because really it comes down to how you execute with that character and how well you understand how that character is supposed to, you know, contribute to your win condition. And so far, I don't think Habana has necessarily been the problem for St. Clair. I think it's all in all, these rosters look really decent. It's more just about finding your way in and, you know, keeping yourself firmly in line and communicating well. These fights have looked pretty scattered for St. Clair. I'd like to see them, you know, maybe group up and coordinate these just a little bit better here. As Men starting to get all those walls reinforced, make things very difficult for St. Clair to get through.
It just seems like the main issue just feels like a lack of information when moving in on the site. So whether it be just constantly being denied by Mozzies or mutes or whatever it happens to be that GCU is using. And then Cash, oh, you think that area is safe to go into? Never mind, I'm a Vigil. You can't see me. Blast you with the sniper shotgun, whatever you want to call that thing. Just so difficult to deal with, and it just feels like when you have to kind of go into a site and wing it, it's mixed results and normally not necessarily in your favor.
It's definitely difficult playing without that intel, and Saints have done a much, like you mentioned, they've done a much better job this time around than it's on game number 1. But unfortunately, when you're on match point, that's not what you want to see. Bunk and Zombie Dude, highest fraggers on St. Clair, going to get taken out very, very early in the round. They do manage to find the bomb, however, but it's a 3 versus 5. All comes down to this. This is the make it or break it for St. Clair. Colo gets dropped fairly low as Chars wall blast him just a little, but is not enough to take him down. Now St. Clair trying to find their way onto the site. They know where the bomb is located. They just don't know where the players are. Taking that time to get that intel, use those drones. Scope things out a little bit before they make their attack.
The fact that 2 players are already down definitely does dwindle my hopes a little bit here for the St. Clair squad. Going to be a tough, not to crack here for this this GCU defense. You got plenty of still high health bars, which granted, yes, in a one-tap headshot kill kind of game, not necessarily the end of the world, but the positioning here from this GCU squad is very confident. You see Cash once again finding himself elimination, and this is all going to hell. Saints have Chars, and that's it.
That's going to be match point for GCU. Taking a convincing 2-0 versus St. Clair. An incredible performance in this entire team, and you know, you just really have to give credit to how well this team played. They really messed with the Saints on game number 1. Definitely demoralized them a lot with that Clash pickup. And I just think the Saints had a really difficult time recovering after that. Cash obviously winning MVP on that round, which is leading the kill feed in dominant fashion. 16 eliminations, it's going his way. Incredible performance in this entire team. And you know, we love watching games like this, so big shout out to Grand Canyon University for giving us such an incredible game of Rainbow Six to watch. I definitely felt like I learned a lot. I enjoyed what I watched, and I hope everyone in our chat enjoyed today's game as well. Anders, I really appreciate you giving your insight and helping me, work through this and understand this a little better. Do you have any final thoughts on that matchup to round things out for what you saw tonight?
Just Rainbow Six in general is just one of the more, if not the most, elaborate and in-depth kind of title that we do have here in regards to just all of the interactions available. Granted, I know every game can probably argue that they have depth. I'm not saying that other games don't have depth, but this is easily one of the hardest games to pick up and actually learn from a player's perspective, but also the commentary's perspective. So I want to say, for being a first time here with you on the R6 casting desk, big thank you for joining me, and you did actually very well for a first time by. It's a hard game to cast, and I would not have noticed that this would have been your first time if I didn't say anything. So good job.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I'm going to take that with a grain of salt because there's always a lot of work to improve. But no, I do appreciate the kind words. To wrap things up, however, I believe we've got a couple of slides we'd like to walk our viewers through here. Usually we like to take a look at that schedule after those games round out, see what's coming up next on the docket, and it is going to be some Call of Duty action tomorrow at 7 p.m. So make sure you tune into that in the Collegiate Call of Duty League. Then Monday at 7 p.m., some Overwatch play versus gameplay. Make sure to check that out. Going into Tuesday, Rocket League, NECC. Then at 5 p.m. and Wednesday at 8 p.m., some Fortnite in the play versus league. To round things out, some more Overwatch again, 5 p.m. on Thursday in the NECC. Plenty of action here on the Saints Gaming channel. A game every single night of the week. Make sure you guys are here for that. Always a good time. Join me and Danners. Join us in on the fun. We love watching these games, love hosting these games. So we'll be here. Love to have you join us as well for those. Yeah, I love seeing all this action on the channel. It's really good.
Absolutely. It's just constant, match after match. Granted, a lot of the seasons are starting to slow down a little bit, but oddly enough, some of them are still kind of just getting started. So for at least till, I would say, mid to end of May, we should still be having multiple matches per week, if not one match still every single day. And even when we aren't necessarily live, we'll make sure that there's still plenty of content on the channel as well, whether it be here on the Twitch channel as well as the YouTube. It's been something that we've been kind of taking a look at a little bit more at the end of this semester, whether it be getting to know your players and coaches, or even doing some highlight reels, just trying our best to kind of up our game here in regards to the St. Clair Saints varsity esports side of things, whether it be knowledge, whether it be matches. It's just getting started, so definitely want to give the shout out in regards to following us here on Twitch, and then the sub onto YouTube as well would definitely mean a ton. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. We big thank you to everyone, of course, for supporting these channels. If we didn't have people to watch our content, then we wouldn't have the resources to make it, and we love making it. We love that you guys enjoy it. So thank you again so much for supporting our content, whether it be on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, wherever it may be. And of course, a big thank you to the sponsors of our stream for allowing us to host these broadcasts, every single night of the week. So of course, shout outs to St. Clair College Alumni Association, PC Outlet, Zeckelman School of Business and IT, St. Clair College, Tim Hortons, and the St. Clair SRC. Thank you all once again for giving us these opportunities to do this stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And of course, well, you mentioned it already, but big thank you for tuning in. I mentioned supporting the broadcast, but also for supporting your teams here. I know this one, especially the last couple of weeks here, it's been rather rough for especially the R6 squad, but still seeing everybody come on and out and supporting the squad. They had themselves a very tough league. Of course, they made it into the Premier side and not the Open side this time by. So this means, like I was saying at the very beginning of the series, that they're up against the top collegiate competition. And unfortunately, it seems like they're falling a little bit short this season. It doesn't mean that they can't come back swinging, whether in Premier again or whether they do end up dropping to Open. We'll have to see, because of course this was the season finale. And the record, don't have the exact record, but we'll definitely get you the update on our Twitter. So again, another thing to follow now that I think about it. But
yeah, just follow everything. Just search
all
us
the
up
things.
Everywhere you go. All the things. Just get us on all the things. And one more thing that you could definitely get us on, or at least something that we could get for you, if you want to take a look at our merchandise line that we've got brand new this year. Of course, that is going to be our Saints merch drop. We've got face masks, jerseys, sweaters, jackets, the whole 9 yards, and they all look fantastic. Definitely get yourself some of that. If you're interested, of course, make sure to check out the website at acquire.ca/saints. If you'd like to purchase yourself some of that swag, I'm sure you've seen plenty of my co-casters all up in the drip when they show up for casting night, and it looks phenomenal. So grab yourself some of that. The link, where to find it. And yeah, make sure to, it supports this program, it supports us, and it looks great too. So it's a win-win for everyone, really.
Absolutely. And the last thing that I'm going to shout out in regards to or to the program itself is actually in regards to recruitment, because it is never too early. You may notice, if you are following our Twitter right now or you take a look at it, we're already announcing players for the September 2021 season. That being said, if you think you got what it takes, make sure you apply below on our website, stclairsaints.ca/join. Get the application in there. If you are of the quality that the coach seems fit, you shall be contacted on Discord. And then if you are also, it wasn't on that slide, but I'll mention it here, if you are also looking to level up your production, whether it be behind the scenes or as a commentator, similar to what Shadi and I are doing right here, right now, join our Discord and send me a message, and we can look into some volunteer opportunities to level you up. With that being said, I think we're just about good to close on out here for today. Unfortunately, Saints are going to fall in 2-0 fashion. Again, one more time, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Shadi, for joining me here on the R6 desk. It is very weird to not be soloing this broadcast, so thank you once again. And with that, we shall close out. So I will see everybody here tomorrow at 7 for some Activision Blizzard Call of Duty.